again, Rebecca here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to my beginner's guide to mixed media week 2 class 4 for the overall series. And today is all about sprays and all the different kinds of sprays that I have. Also going to be using up the Cocoa Vanilla Daydream collection. So this piece right here is the last 12 by 12 sheet that I have for this collection. So my goal this month has been to try to kill off some of these kits that I love, and I've used some sheets, but my bin is so full, you guys know. So I'm just we're gonna be able to figure out how much of the embellishments that I have left I can use, and then when we're done I'll be able to just de-stash that. All right, so for the mists, we're gonna bring over my trusty inventory binder here, and we're going to turn to section 2. That's kind of how my schedule's been set up, based on the sections. So we are going to be focusing today on Nuvo Mica Mist and Heidi Swap Color Shine, and then Tuesday and Wednesday will be a different kind of spray. So these are the Nuvo Mica Mists that I have, and today we're going to use this Pecan Peach, this Aspen Gold, and the Wild Olive. Now remember, on these, if you can see that line right there, that's the shimmer, okay? So you want to mix these like this and then kind of shake it a little bit. You don't want to shake it full force because the shimmery goodness will end up clogging up your nozzle. And as you can see there, now it's clear and there is no more line. But you just roll it back and forth, and there, that little metal ball or plastic ball or whatever's in there, and makes it work fabulously. And we are also going to work with the Heidi Swap Color Shine. And these are the color shines. So today we're going to do the blush, the ocean, and the black. And those are the same way. You just want to roll it back and forth. You can kind of mix these up a little bit more because there's not as much shimmery goodness in there. But let's get started. Let's see what we have today. So I had this scrap left over, so I'm going to use that as part of my design. And this pattern paper, which is going to be my background, and that is what I'm going to do the mixed media on. And here is, I'm going to do a stencil technique today. So I have 12 by 12 stencils, and this one is from Close to My Heart. But you can use any size. I just pulled this one out so you can kind of see. And the design principle is, I want this, and now I'm going to line these hard edges just a smidge over that, because I do think that I will be bringing in some kind of border strip or something down there, but we are going to spray and then it's going to explode out from the back of this. I am not gessoing my page, and the only reason that I have this out is so you guys can see. There'll be no gessoing of the page because I don't want it to run. I want it to soak in. So I have my messy box, and this is just, it's a box I believe this one was probably from either Close to My Heart or Tonic Studio, and just how my order came. And I saved these little pizza boxes because they're perfect for this, because I don't want to like cover everything with ink. So we are just going to line it up just a smidge. Now you do not want to soak the page, just so you know, because it will run underneath and then just be one big blob. So we are going to start out just a little bit smaller. I guess I should get that off screen. And I always turn it over to see if it's mixing up. Now this is a very light color, if you've seen that, so it's not going to make that big of an impact, but I'm not going for dramatic. All right, and then you're just going to just spritz. Okay. And then I guess, you know what, we'll just do them all. I was gonna kind of pull that off, but then we'll have to match it back up. That'll be okay. And then again, there we go. And then I'm gonna turn the box so that my sprays go in different angles. And the last one is the pecan peach. And I mean, you are gonna get some warpage, guys. Like that's how it happens, unfortunately, because it's just pattern paper and it's really not meant for mixed media. All right, and I'm gonna try to get a dry corner here. And I'm gonna pick it up. And there you go. So that's the first part. We're gonna let that dry, and I'm gonna go wash this off, and I'll be right back. All right, so we're back. It is dry-ish, dry enough for this next part. And as you can see, I sure hope you can see this in the camera. It is a very, very subtle hint of mixed media, but you can see where the gold hits and the peach and the pink, and then this crazy line down here, but that's okay. And I didn't really concentrate on this area because I know that I'm going to cover that up, so I didn't really want to waste the mixed media. But this is also just a really good example of that creates a statement in itself without being bold and crazy dramatic on the page. So now we're going to go with those other colors, and I'm just going to splatter. We've all seen everyone do, so I'm going to take this first color and I'm just mixing it up. I do kind of do it off screen because some people don't like to watch that. We're just going to open it up, and I'm still in my messy splatty box here. Sometimes I have, like when I know I'm going to get real crazy, I actually have a cardboard piece that sits there because I mean, if you really look at my desk, there's splatters everywhere. Like this little guy here has been splattered a lot, but he survives because that's where he lives. So we're just going to take the green and we're just going to splatter. All right, and then I'm going to turn the box because, you know, the splatters kind of go in the same direction, and you can get big splats, which we'll put a couple of those on there by kind of just dropping it, and then you just kind of, you know, you can tap it, or you can also get like really fine ones by using. And since this, remember this page was not gessoed, so everything is going to soak right in. And that's the look I'm going for on this. Now, if you want to gesso the page, you can totally gesso the page. Also, if you don't have spray inks, it is totally fine because you can do this same, you can achieve this same look, probably not the shimmery look, but if you take any of your ink pads, okay, and any kind of blender tool, so blender brush, this is a cheapo makeup brush. There's also sponges, and I cut mine to get more use out of it. There's the Tim Holtz blender tools, any of that, and you can just, you know, achieve the same look by blending ink on top of that. That's just to give you guys a little bit of hint. You can also squish your ink pad down, use some water, and fling. That's how you can get these, you know, and then achieve this look with a paintbrush and ink. Now I turn my page because if you notice when I don't know if it's just me, but I usually get straight lines. So I continuously turn to get different splats. And our soft, elegant background is turning into an explosion of colors. But that's because I want to pick up on those other colors, but I didn't want to bombard the page with all of these through the stencil. Then we're going to take the ocean and just pop in just a couple hints of the color. Try to get it where there isn't. And now we will let these dry. And as they dry, my splats they won't get bigger. I said will, but they won't. Because if you see, they're just going to soak right in, right through to the back of the page. And I'll show you that when it's completely dry. Had I used gesso, it would have sat, kind of moved around a little bit, but I did not. So, all right, so we're going to let this dry. And also you can see where they're like mixing. And I just really love the look. So we'll let this dry and I'll be right back. All right, so we are completely dry. And I like the way that it looks. I mean, that's really the point, right? Like, you have to like the way it looks. But I like mixed media. And for some people, it's not their thing. It's not their cup of tea, and that's okay. All right, so I'm going to trim off my branding strip. And now if you notice right here, I do have a very weird line from where the stencil was. So in order to fix that, I was thinking of potentially just putting a little border right here. So let's kind of see how that looks. But the mixed media is done, and that was pretty simple, right, guys? I mean, that was just some spraying through a stencil. One thing that we could have done, and I didn't think about it until just now, was you remember how that stencil was completely covered with ink? You can do what's called a stencil print and just take a piece of paper and lay it on top, and then it'll pull off, and it'll be the reverse side of it. So that's always something. I keep putting the trimmer up because I'm discombobulated. And like I said, this was already a piece that was torn from a previous layout that I did. So I'm just going to use it as is. Now I can put it on this side. I was thinking of maybe doing that. Not real sure how I feel about that, to be honest with you. But I got to cover up that odd strip right there. And then I've got my 2 photos, so we can probably let's trim these little photos down and see if we like that band. If not, we'll figure something out. I had just got the new iPhone 12, and I was playing with it, and it takes like crisp, fun photos. So we are going to make these 3x3s if I can. Don't know if we're going to get that without cutting into a dog. I may have snipped her tail off a bit, but it's totally fine. That is my sweet pit bull bee. And this is Grumpy Old Man Giz. He is definitely a grumpy old man. But he's really old, so he's entitled to it. Alright, so let's get this out of the way. We have our pictures here. Let's see if I have anything left to mat them on. I do not. But usually when I do mixed media, I like to mat my photos, which is not something that I normally do. But I have this sitting here, and this is just the packaging strip. It's white on the back, so it's going to work for my purposes. I'm going to use that to mat my photos. And then I can never be accused of not using every part of a kit. Because I even use the packaging. All right. So I'm just going to roughly cut. You guys know I used to be all concerned about having straight lines. Now I'm like, whatever. I pulled the trimmer out enough today. Okay. For the most part, I think I get it pretty straight. It's not even, but even when I used the trimmer, it wasn't even. So while I'm getting this all set up, I do want to remind you that there is a Facebook group, and I'll have it listed in the description box below. So if you want to play along or just come on over and join and see all the other fabulous layouts that have been created, please do so. I want to take this little time to say thank you, if I have not already, to everybody who played along in week 3 or just watched the video and left fun, fabulous, wonderful comments. I am getting positive, good feedback on it, so I do hope that you are all enjoying it. Thinking we need to cover her picture, something like that. I was gonna put them down here, but I don't like that down there. I am just not a fan of that. What do you guys think? Are you a fan of that or no? What if we put it on the top? I still think it needs to go underneath that. Oh, come on. I was trying to be cool, but then my hearts are going the wrong way. So that's not gonna work. It's got to stay on the bottom if it goes anywhere, because the hearts, there's definite direction on that background page. All right. I don't know. We'll see. I do like my photos right here. Just right there on the edge. And then we have all these fun embellishments. And we are going to basically load up this line right here with everything that we have left. All my little baggies, I used this collection for so many different things. All my little baggies were broke. So this is kind of how I do this process. I go through and I start sorting everything out. So these are all the rainbows. Here's 2 scraps of paper. Here's 3 scraps of paper. Maybe I can... That's not filling that. Might be able to give those guys a little shelf to sit on. That'll make the stripes go the wrong way. All right, that's out. It's just out. I'm over it. Moving on. All right. So kind of pull this out, and then I do want to get, trying to get that over that, right? All right. I had 2 of these, and I don't know how I ended up ordering 2, but as you can see, this is all I have left of one, and I have a full sheet of that. So it's kind of sad, but it's all right. So, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and get these all sorted out, and I will come back when I got that done. Okay, I got that all sorted out. So that is everything that I have left. I do have some of these left, but not going to be needing those. So I like that, like so. I like it to sit like that. So what we're going to do is I am going to get those stuck together so I can move them to the side. All right, I'm going to run just a smidge of the ATG. I'm going to grab my fine liner bottle that has my art glitter glue in it, and I am going Now there is no mixed media on this side, so it should stick pretty well, but with the paper being a little warped on the other side, I do just add some mixed or some wet adhesive as well, and it's just the art glitter glue. I have had success with that. And then I'm just going to align it up. And push it down. Now, see, as you can see, like some of those splatters, it seeped through. But this isn't really warped as bad as a lot of my pages. And we are going so I'm gonna fishtail banner this. So how I do that is I always just fold it in half and trim it off. And then I know it's equal on both sides, and that is probably because a little bit of anal retentiveness there for myself. If I try to do it any other way, I cannot get the fishtails to be even, and then I can't stand it. And then we are just going to sneak that under there. Push those down. All right, I'm gonna grab my big roll of foam tape. Cut a little piece off. And before I do anything else, I'm gonna put the cap back on this or it's gonna dry up, and that's not cool. So I'm just gonna take this. Just run a couple pieces of this on here because I do want the photos to pop off the page. And I just pull it off a little at a time so that I don't end up, I hit the camera, I do apologize. I don't want to end up with like some weird pieces left over. And then I just snip, snip, snip. So what did you guys think of this technique? Did you like this? Did you have fun playing with this? So that is going to go there. And I'm going to go ahead and get it stuck down. By doing this, I just easy peasy. All I'm doing is just pushing the foam down away from the release tape and then pulling it off. And I find that this works best when you have like super, super sticky adhesive, and this stuff is the best adhesive for stickiness that I've found. And I got it at Spiegel Mom Scraps. Okay. So it is sticky, but I'm just want to make sure. I'm going to add just a little bit right here on the end of this foam because of the spray that I have on there, just to ensure. And get those down. So now my idea is to put, oops, that's not my idea. We're going to do Lucky, home in this general vicinity, which is going to be the title for my layout, because I feel like, you know, because I have those dogs, I have a lucky home. I'm just going to tuck it right under there. And we're going to take the home. And yeah, I could have used ATG for this, but my liquid glue is sitting there. All right, so now we want to use what's left. And I'm thinking, I do want to use these homes. Let me get this guy tucked right in there. And yes, I am the queen of pulling up after it's glued down. Stick this guy right there. Now I do have some of these. It's like a little, I use that for something else, so I'm just gonna tuck him in here too. Why not? I need to probably use some rainbows, right? Because I have all of these rainbows. Not gonna use that. Not gonna use the moss. I'm not gonna use that. Let me see. Not gonna use that. There we go. I didn't want the colors to blend into each other, so we're gonna put a rainbow there. And take this little thing right here. It's got the Good Life on it. I'm gonna run that right over here on this picture, because it's like they're living their best life. All right. And the cap. I'm like never gonna run out of rainbows, you guys. Okay. I'm just looking to see our best. I'm reading all of these. I've already got the Good Life on there. Not really feeling any words that I want to use, but I do want to use some of these little guys. I'm going to use these little hearts. And then I'm going to pull some hearts off of the sticker sheet as well. Just get them sprinkled around. Tuck them in. These are super sticky, so no need to add anything extra. It's kind of tone on tone. Oh, come on. Let's get a yellow one. Put the yellow one up here. This big pink. Put it right here. And this is pretty much going to do it. So I do want to remind you again, don't forget to check out the Facebook group. I will have that listed in the description box below if you do decide to make a layout using this technique, or even just scrap lift if you don't use the mixed media. Please share. We all like to see what you've created and what you have going on. I'm trying to find a place. Nope. And that is pretty much going to do it. I do have a lot of extras, but I will be putting all of these into, I will de-stash them and get them into my kit. Trying to decide, do I want to maybe use, nope. All right. So when you try to, when I overthink it, then I ruin it. So this is the completed layout for the second week of my beginner's mixed media guide, and it is the first in the series and class number 4 in the overall series. So give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Click that subscribe button down below. Please don't forget to check out the Facebook group, and I will see you tomorrow with class number 5. Bye.